Illy started this policy of going directly to the growers and buy directly from their hands the coffee we put in our blend at the beginning of the 90s. At that time we understood that it was not possible, as Illy wants to produce the best possible coffee in the world and bring it all over the world, to do it buying coffee from the commodity market. It was not possible because you don't have traceability, you cannot control really the quality. So we understood that in order to do that, the best way was really to deal directly with the growers. So we started this process that is organized in 4 pillars. So the first one is to choose the best possible growers all around the world in the coffee growing countries, and we do it either with partners that locally work for us and they go and check the best growers, or as we do in Brazil, that is the country from which we buy more or less the 50% of our coffee, through a prize. We started this prize in 1992. And for this price, the growers can apply, sending us the samples of their breast production. There are 2 juries, one in Brazil and one in Trieste, where we have our headquarters, that check the quality of these samples. And every year we have this big ceremony in March, where in São Paulo, with all the growers, the finalists that are more or less 50 every year. But every year several hundreds of growers apply for the prize, and the best 50s, they come to this ceremony. Everybody get a prize, even a small one or a big one, and the winners very big prizes, and the fact that Illy can buy the coffee from them with a price that is much more higher than the price of the market. The second pillar of this strategy is to teach the growers once they are on board about how to preserve the quality of their crop and do the best possible coffee. We have a university of coffee that works in the various producing countries with the growers directly through the team of our agronomists that go directly in the coffee plantation and work hand in hand with the growers. This knowledge is very important. It is something that the grower can keep with him, of course, and can even use to sell better coffee to our competitors and gain more money and improve the quality of their life. So we do not force the growers that work for us to sell the coffee only for us. They are free to sell to whoever they want. And so this is very important. Third pillar, once the quality is there, okay, and only if the quality is there, because the Illy standards are very high, and so it's kind of difficult to reach them, but we have a lot of very good growers. Once the quality is there, I was saying, we buy the coffee directly from the end of the growers, and we pay this coffee much more than the average, so than the market prices. This helps a lot the growers to improve the quality, to maintain the quality, especially when the market of coffee is cycling, so we have periods in which the prices are very low. And in this way, paying the coffee more than the average, we give the growers the possibility to continue to cultivate coffee and to maintain the quality and to maintain a good level of life. This idea of improving the quality of life of our stakeholders, so not only the growers, is part of our values. Andrea Illy, he likes to say that our company is a stakeholder company, and the objective of this stakeholder company is improve the quality of life of all our stakeholders. The consumers with a very good cup of coffee, the employees of the company with a high standard of life and a wonderful place where they work, and of course the growers, which are the weak ring of the chain, of course, giving them the possibility to have more money through the way we deal with them. The fourth pillar is to build the community of these growers all around the world, so we give them the possibility to meet each other. We organize very often meetings in Trieste, and the growers can meet, can deal, can exchange best practices, and so they have the possibility really to know how the market goes worldwide. Once Illy established this standard, so this way to go directly to the growers and buy coffee directly from their hands at the beginnings of the 90s, many things changed, meaning that many other roasters started buy coffee in a different way. Maybe not 100% of their coffee as we do, because we buy 100% of our coffee in the way I described before, and we have just one product, so we have just one blend, and so the coffee that you drink in São Paulo or in Trieste or in Milan or in Tokyo or in Rome is always the same and the same way of buying it. While the other growers have many products, but at least for a part of their production, they started to go directly to the growers as we started to do many years ago. So we can say that Illy, in a way, changed through this way of buying coffee, the way the market is organized now. The approach to sustainability that Illy adopt is really part of the way of doing business. So it's not a superstructure, it's something that is really embedded in the way we do things. Since the very beginning of the company, now we talk about sustainability, about ethics, maybe in the past they use different words, but it's really part of the values of the family and part of the values of the company since the very beginning in the 30s. The fact that we have decided to certify this approach, yes, is very important and changed in a way the communication and the perception of our stakeholders, starting with the consumers. They appreciate that consumers more and more, when they go to the supermarket or whenever, shops, etc., to buy products, they are more and more interested in to know the companies, what's behind the brand, what's behind the package. So we know for sure, because we measured it through market tests, the fact that they're very interested in knowing the way we buy coffee and the fact that we are certified. So when they see the logo of the certification on the package, they really appreciate that. But it's not only about the consumers, it's also about our customers, meaning the coffee bartender or the hotels or the supermarkets. More and more, these kind of big clients, they want to deal with companies that have ethics in their values and certified to be sustainable. So we pioneered in a way this movement, and we are, I can say, through the fact that we are continuously asked to tell this story to universities or to conferences or to Congress worldwide, etc., that this is really a case study, a benchmark for the market. And so I think that it's very important what we did, and it's a part of the strategy of the company now. Of course, having a certification of sustainability doesn't mean that you have achieved something forever. It means that you have continuously to improve the way you do things. Of course, this certification, by the way, is challenging us. They want that we improve year after year. Not only, we also signed an agreement with the Italian Ministry of Environment, and they came to the company to measure our CO2 impact, and they want us to change the situation. So we are doing continuously improvements, as I said, and for instance, we are now launching a new product that is called Refilly, that is like our little can that everybody knows, the 250 can of coffee, but it's a little bit smaller. It's made in a different material that has less impact on the environment, is lighter, if I may say that, and you can use it as a refill for this can. And this is for us a very important way to reduce our carbon footprint, our production of CO2, and we are really now working on the products. Not only, going back to the coffee growers at the beginning of the chain, for instance, we are teaching them all over the world, so in the various coffee growing countries, a different way to treat coffee after the crop using less water than before. So we taught them a way to treat the water after in order not to pollute the environment. Or, third example, we did a study with the foundation of Sebastião Salgado, the photographer, We work with him, by the way, to shoot all the coffee growers we work with all around the world. And Sebastião has a wonderful foundation in Brazil. It was a former coffee plantation abandoned, and he decided there, it was actually the coffee plantation of his family, he bought it back and decided to rebuild there the Mata Atlantica, so the Atlantic forest that was there before. He did an amazing work in the last 10 years, so we decided to work with him in order to make a study to present to the growers in Brazil. In Brazil, the growers, they have to keep the 20% of their plantations as a forest. But they do nothing there, basically, so they just keep it like it is. And so, no, we went to them with this study and said to them, okay, why don't you try to give back this 20% to the Mata Atlantica, so the Atlantic forest, as it was before. And so through this study, these people can improve the quality of this 20%, make it better, make it more beautiful. And the results are very interesting and astonishing because you have different animals coming back, you have water coming back, you have really the environment as it was before at the beginning of the 17th century when the business of coffee started in Brazil.